Hi everyone, hi. I'm back again in this video, and this is going to be the second series of my subnetting video. I've done my first video and I've spoken about subnetting rules. In my first video, I spoke a lot about those things that you need to know before you can become a good network engineering who can subnet. Subnetting is very much part of your job and you would need to be good at it. So in my video, the first one, I explained every bit that needs to be mentioned and I left nothing untouched. It's an hour video, so if you are new to subnetting, please watch that video. But if you are already into subnetting and you are strong, you think you are average when it comes to subnetting, then this video is meant for you. In the previous video, I spoke about class A, class B, class C, conversion from binary to decimal and all that. But in this video, without wasting much of our time, we need to go straight because I want to try and make sure that this video is not more than an hour or just a bit over an hour. So in this video, we are going to start subnetting. Let me start with my first bullet points. The ability to subnet depends on binary skills. So your ability to become a good engineer who can subnet a network depends on your skills to convert decimal number to binaries and to convert binaries number back to decimals. And also, second point is the powers of 2. You must be able to do 2 times multiplication table. 2 times 2 4 times 2 8 times 2 16 times 2 32 times 2 64 times 2 128 times 2 256 times 2 512 times 2 1024 times 2 2048 times 2 4096 and so on and so on. So that is your powers of 2. And lastly, the magic numbers. All these numbers you see here, they are magic numbers. They will always remain the same in subnetting. So all you have to do is have a map in your brain that maps this number to one another. So these are magic numbers, and you can't do without this number in subnetting. So these numbers here, 128, 192, up to 256, they are subnet masks. So in every given question, you are going to be asked to find out your subnet mask. So you need to know subnet mask will always be this, any of these numbers. If you get anything out of these numbers, then your subnetting is not correct. Most especially, I would like to mention that 254 and 256, we don't normally use them. So you are going to be having from 128 to 252. And then these slash notations, they are they are they are they are always working together with your subnet mask. So anytime your subnet mask is going to be 128, definitely the slash notation is going to be 25. Anytime your subnet mask is going to be 192, definitely your slash notation is going to be 26. Anytime your subnet mask is going to be 224, your slash notation is going to be 27. Anytime you have slash 29, your subnet mask is going to be 248. Anytime you have slash 28, your subnet mask is going to be 240. So this I'm going to explain as we move on. So I think I should do this first. So what I'm going to do is now move on to, let me open my what's it called, my notepad, where I have some questions that I've created already for us, and we start doing, and I start to make you understand what that means, these numbers, what they mean. How do you understand that they are together, they work together every now and then? So say you are given this IP address. Say you are given 192.168.10.0. This is class C. Obviously, you can tell because it starts with 192. I have explained this in the first video. So now that is class C, we have been given slash 25. Anytime we are given this slash 25 or slash whatever they give us, this is what I need to understand what I need to do. So slash 25 simply means that I'm going to have 25 ones, and let me do that. I'm going to have 25 ones, so I'm going to have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25. Then this is going to be, the rest are going to be zeros. Okay, so if you look at this they are telling you, okay, slash 25, and we have 25 ones now. So if you count all these 1 1 1 1 up to this 0, we are going to have 32 bits. So they told you out of that 32 bits that you're going to have, they want you to have 25 ones. So that's making our job easier as a network engineer who is going to be subnetting, because what they have told you is, I want this to be permanent 192. I want this to be permanent 192. 168. I want this to be permanent, because we have 1 1 1 1 1 1 there. Don't touch them, leave them. We've done that for you, and we've done this for you also. So we've done from here to here for you. All you have to do is from this zero, these zeros is what you have problem with, and they call this interested octet. So the octet we are interested in is the last octet, is the last one, which is this, the last one. Okay, so now for me to make you understand this, let's get all these ones. This is my formula for calculating subnet mask and everything I want to do in subnetting. I'll bring all the one. I have 8 ones. One, one, one. So I have 8 ones now. This is all the ones. Okay, if I had, because they are all turned on, they are all on, that's why you have one. So if I add 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, I'm going to have 255. As simple as that. If I do the same thing with these, I'm also going to have 255. If I do the same thing with the third one, I'm also going to have 255. But then with the last one, not all of them are on. We have some 7 bits that are off. So let's go back down here and then just switch on the only one that's on and off the rest. Now that I've off the rest, what am I left with? I'm left with just 128. So that means since I'm left with 128, this is going to be 128. And if you see, this is the reason why I said 128 and 25 will always go together. Can you see that here? 128, sorry, 128 and 25. They will always and always and always go together. So this is where the 128 is coming from. And this is going to be your subnet mask for this IP address. Okay, let's do 26. If we have slash 26, what they are telling you in subnetting is that you have 26 ones. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and we have 6 zeros. Now, what they are saying to me is that please, you have slash 26, leave 192, 168, and 10. Leave them, they have to be permanent. So if they have to be permanent, I'm only having to deal with this interested octet from this 0 here. Yeah, that's the interested octet. Like we did, if we add 1 1 1 1 1 under here and we add them together, we are going to have 255. Do that for the next one, we have 255. Do that for the third one, we have 255. And then the last one, what are we going to do? Let me come down, and we have 2 bits on. 1 1. That's the 2 that are on. The rest are zeros. So if the rest are zeros, what am I going to do? I'm only having 2 bits that's on. One is under 128, the other is under 64. So I'm going to say 128 plus 64. That's going to give me 192. So if that gives me 192, that is my subnet mask. If you see, 26 and 192 would always and always go together. So I'm going to jump to slash 29. I'm going to jump to slash 29. Normally, I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm just doing this for an introduction before we delve into subnetting itself. So that, because I've done this in the first video, I just want to say this so that everyone understands this more. So people who are watching this video will understand as well. So here we have 199 and now it's slash 29. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So now, if you have a look at this now, we have done what they've asked us to do, slash 29. So we have just this bit to deal with. We have just this bit to deal with. All these, they've told us we should not touch them. Okay, fine. What do we do? If we add put all these here, we are going to get 255. That's correct. The next one we are going to get 255. The next one we are going to get 255. And the last one, what do we get? Let's come here and do it as we've been doing it. So we have how many ones? Five ones. One, two, three, four, five. The rest are zeros. So if we add 128 plus 64, because we have these bits on, so those bits that we have on, if we add them, 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8. So 128 plus 64 is 192 plus 32 is 224 plus 16 is 240 plus 8 is 248. So this is going to be 248. And if you see slash 29, the subnet mask will always be 248. I think I've done justice to this. You can take a picture of this for you to understand, and then you can go and do slash. Let me give you homework to do while watching this video. Before you continue this video, please make sure you do this. You do this for me. Control V, do slash 27. I haven't done it, and do slash 28. I haven't done it, and do slash 30 for me, please, and do slash 30. This will tell you if you understand what we have done. So I'm going to leave this and move on to another thing. Now that we have done, subnetting is starting now. We are getting there to where we are going to start subnetting. In my subnetting rules, my slide says, and this is my definition of this. I have read so many texts, I have watched so many videos, and I've been doing subnetting for the last 2 3 years. I just got to understand it fully, I think 1 year ago, that I understood everything. So you need time to watch this video over and over and over again. And this is my style. It doesn't confuse me. There are so many styles out there that when you watch them on YouTube or someone explains to you, you get confused. But this is my own best style. So let's go ahead. My style says there are two important rules when subnetting. The two important rules in subnetting is, in order to create subnets, if the question the IP address you are given says create 4 subnets, create 5 subnets, create 1000 subnets, create 500 subnets. If that's the question, this is how you go about it. To create subnets, borrow from the leftmost host bit. Okay, and we are going to start doing this now. That I will stop and we'll just go and start doing how to create subnets. So to create subnets, you have to go from the left borrow from the leftmost host bit. So let's do that. Let's do that. From the leftmost host bit. I have this. Let me bring the other one up. I have these two up. Okay. You come up. Just give me some time just to set my working area. So if we have these two um, notepad up. So let me say something to you about here before we start that. This we have done. This 11111 up to here is what? Is your network portion. And from here to here is your what? Host portion. From here to here is your what? Network portion. From here to here is your host portion. And the same thing. So your consecutive ones is your network portion. Your consecutive zeros on the right is your host portion. Okay. So if we are asked that we need to create more subnets. That means we need more ones, okay? That means we need more ones in order to create more subnets. And in order to create more hosts, that means we need more zeros. That's what it means. So now to create more subnets, borrow borrow from the leftmost host bit towards the right. Okay, towards the right. That's the formula for this. Okay, you borrow towards the right. I want to make sure we can see all this. Yeah, you borrow towards the right. This is what you have to do in order to create subnets. This is what you have to do in order to create subnets. So let's say we are dealing with class C, like I said. Let's say we are given an IP address which is 192 dot, or let me change that, 199.11.10.0, and then slash 24. Okay, and they said to us to create, please create two subnets. They just want us to create two subnets. And from the IP address given, what this means is that we have just one subnet, we have just one network. They want us to break that one network into two. Okay, so in order to do that, remember there is a formula for creating subnet, and the formula is 2 2 raised to power n equals to whatever that equals to is your answer. Okay, I'll explain that when we get there. So 2 raised to power n is the formula. Then in order to now do this, let's start this. I need to convert this to binary. That's why you need to know how to do binary conversion. In order to convert this to binary, remember it's slash 24. So they are telling us that these first three octets, they are going to be ones. So I'll do, let me space them so that we can understand like we've been doing. So I will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this question, we have we have 24 ones, okay? We have 8 zeros. That's what they said to us. And now they want us to create two subnets. If we are going to create two subnets from this, when you need to create subnet, you need to borrow from the leftmost host bit. Can you see that leftmost host bit towards your right? So this is the leftmost host bit to my network, because this is my network ID now. Yeah, all ones are network, consecutive ones are network, but they are telling us to have two networks now. In order to have two networks, I'm going to change this zero here, the first one on the left, to one. If I change that to one, when you have one, you have created two subnets. When you change 10 to 1, you have created two subnets because each of them is 2. Okay, so that's what this means. This formula here, it means that 2 raised to power n, 2 raised to power the number of how many zeros did you change to 1. We've just changed 1, so 2 raised to power 1 is equals to 2. And that is the answer. We have been able to create two subnets like that. So I'm going to say my first subnet is going to be 199. We are going to bring that back because they said we should not touch it. 11, bring that back, we should not touch it. 10 dot 0, that's the first one. Okay, and my second subnet, subnet, that's going to be subnet. How do I know what my second subnet is going to be? Remember, what you have to do is just copy this and put it under your ones and zeros. So if I go there and I do this, I have just one turned on, one, and I do 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. So it's under 128. Can you see the only bit that's on is under 128? That tells me that my next subnet is going to start from 128. So the next one here, my next subnet is going to be my is going to be 199.11.10.128. This is my other subnet. So this is my first subnet, and this is what I was given. Remember, that's the question. So we are not going to change that. But here, where do I get this 128 from? Remember, it's from here. So anytime you are subnetting, the last number, the last bit that you borrowed is going to tell you how big your subnet is going to be and the number of hosts you are going to have in that subnet. So because this is the only one that I borrowed, which is under 128, immediately I know that I'm going to have 128 hosts in each subnet. So this is going to be from 199 to This one, I think I should do this. I should remove this, I think, because it's going to confuse you. I think I should control X. Let me take that off and remove this. So what this means is my subnet is going to be from that to 199.11.10.127. Okay, this is what this means to me, my subnet. Yeah, and my other one is going to my second subnet, that's going to be from 199.11.10.0 and then to 199 dot, I know I've made a mistake there, I'll correct it, dot 10 dot 11 dot 10 dot 255. Okay, and this is going to be 128. So I have broken that subnet into two. The first subnet is going to be from 129 from 0 to 127, and the second one is going to be 128 to 255. And this is what this subnet is all about. Let's do one more. If you don't get that, don't worry. Let's do one more. Let's do another one. Say we have this, and the question will always be about creating subnets. Okay, that's what we are dealing with for now. Copy and paste. So if we have this question and we have 25 here, we have 25 here, and they want us to create, no, let me leave it as 25 is fine, or let me leave it at 24, and they want us to create, now this is what will be changing, they want us to create four subnets from this question. Okay, let me demarcate this. I know this is a bit difficult, but please just follow up, you are going to understand. If we are told to create four subnets from this network given, okay, so in order to do that, we have slash 24, we have done that, slash 24, this is going to be 0. Okay, so we have slash 24. So if we are slash 24 and they want us to do four subnets, how many zeros do I have to borrow in order to have four subnets? Remember, if you borrow one, you have two. If you borrow two, that is 2 times 2, you have 4. So that means we need to borrow 4 bits. In order to borrow 4 bits, what is our formula? Our formula is 2 multiplied by 2. We have borrowed 2 bits now. 2 multiplied by 2, and that's going to give us 4 subnets. Okay, so if you have 4 subnets, what is going to be my first subnet? So first subnet would be would be 199 dot dot 11 dot 10 dot dot what dot 0 dot 0. That's my first subnet, and it will end at 199. Okay, I need to tell you how do I know where it's going to end. Okay, so if we are going to create four subnets, we have borrowed two from here, so this is going to be 1 1. We have borrowed 2 bits. Yeah, so since we have borrowed 2 bits, if I bring these 2 bits that we borrowed, if we bring all this back here, so we have how many do we have? We have 1 1 0 0 0 0 0 0. If we add 128 plus 64, because this is the only bits that we have on, even before that, I want you to know that my current, the according to this means that my subnet is going to have 64 hosts in each. Why? Because my last host bit that I borrowed is under 64, so I will know that my this is going to be 199.11.10.63. Okay, so and the next one is going to be 199.11.10.64, and 64 plus 64, 199.11.10.64 plus 64, 127. And my next one is going to be 199.11.10.128, and this is going to be 199.11.10.192. Is that correct? And then the last one, 0 to 63, 64 to 127, 128 to 192, and sorry, 191, 191. You need to hide it very well. And then this is going to be 199 dot 11 dot 10 dot 192, and this is going to be 199 dot 11 dot 10 dot, what would be the last, 254, 254. So this is what we need to understand. This is what we need to understand. Yeah. And I'm going to explain all this when we get to host bit and how we calculate the number of host port. We are doing this for you to understand. I'm doing this for you to understand how simple things can become. Okay. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do another one. If we have this same question, if we have this same question, and now we are told, let me do demarcation, and this time we are told to do paste the question there. And now if we are told to do 8 subnets, 8, how are we going to do 8 subnets from this? So now let me put this back to 00. Now that we know, they've given us this, and we have converted it to 111 and to binaries, and but they want us to create 8 subnets from here. So how do we create 8 subnets? Remember, the formula is 2 multiplied by n. That's the formula, and that's going to give us our subnet. How many zeros do I have to borrow from this in order to get to 8? So I need to borrow 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. I need to borrow three, what's it called? I need to borrow 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3. So if I borrow these 3 zeros, that makes my life easy, because 2 times, that's 2 times 3 now, and that's going to give me 8. And if that gives me 8, how do I calculate my first subnet? My first subnet. Yeah. So my first subnet is always going to be, remember, they are telling us don't touch all these ones. So we don't touch them. It's going to be 199.11.10.0. That's what I was given. Then how do I know how many hosts am I going to have in this subnet? So where do I know, how do I know where this network is going to stop? Where would I start another network? The way to know that is to, we have how many? 3 ones. Let's come back here and put our 3 ones there. 1, 2, 3. And the rest are zeros. Now we have just these 3 that is on. If we add 1, 2, 8, 64, and 32, before even adding it, I'm sure by now you should know that this is how we used to add to get our subnet mask. But for now, we want to get the size, the number of the number of hosts in our subnet. So all you have to do is, my last host bit that I borrowed stopped on 32. So that tells me that in this network is going to always be 32, 32. So here I'm going to have 199, 199.11.10 dot from 0 to 31, because 32 is another subnet. So I'm going to have 199.11.10.0, no, and then this is going to be 199.11.10 dot sorry, this is going to be 32. Okay, so 32, and this is going to be what? 61. 61, because 62 is another subnet. So let me copy this to make my life easy, so I don't have to be typing. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll just paste it, and I'll say the next one is 62, and I'll move on, and the next one is going to be what? Control V. 62 plus 32, I should have 62 plus 32. Yeah, 62 plus 32. Let me use my calculator because I'm getting confused now. So I need my calculator to do this for me. Clear. 62 plus 32, that is 94. Yeah, so that means this is going to be 93 because 94 is another subnet. Control V, 94 plus 32 plus 32, 126. So if that is 126, so this is going to be 125 because 126 is another subnet, and this is going to be 126, and then 126 plus 32 plus 32, 158. So this is going to be 157 because 158 is another network. And then this is going to be 158, and this is going to be 158 plus 32, 190. So this is going to be 189 because 190 is another network. So 190 plus 32, 222, 222, 21 because 222 is another network. So we'll do 222 plus 32, 254. So this is going to be 2, 253, 254. Yeah. So here, by now you should understand what I've done. This is my, let me take this off. So here, this is my first subnet. This is my second subnet. This is my third subnet. This is my fifth subnet. This is my sixth. This is my seventh. This is my eighth. Is it more than eight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So I have 8 subnets here. And this is how you calculate your 8 subnets. I want to believe, let me do one more, and then that I will just pause this video and then see if you get it right. So let's do one more. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. So let me go and copy the question again. Let me go and copy the question again. Let me copy the question again and again and again and again. This is a very difficult topic, I know, but then we have to fix it somehow. So say we are given this IP address. Let me convert back to 0. And they want us to create 16 subnets. How do we do that? So in order to create 16 subnets, all you have to do is remember they said 24 ones. So they've told us this is the 24 ones, and they're saying don't touch 199, don't touch 11, don't touch 10. You can only start working on this. So all I have to do first is how many zeros do I have to borrow in order to get to 16? So if we do 2 times 2, that's 4, times 2, 8, times 2, 16. Yeah, that is 16. So I've borrowed how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So I'm going to convert all these to ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you have just done is you have changed those who are bits, host bits, to network now, because that's what you want to create network. Okay, so now that I've done that, this is going to be 16. And if this is 16, so now I know my first subnet is going to be 199.11, don't touch those, dot 10, dot 0. But how do I know what is going to be how the size of my network? So to know that, let's pick this and put them in our formula here. Yeah, how many ones do we have? 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we check this, look at this. How many ones on where the last one that I borrowed, on which bit is it? Is on 16 bits. Can you see? Is on 16 bits. So that tells me that the size of this network is going to be 16s. They are going to be moving in 16, 16, 16, 16. So that tells me I'm going to have 199.11.10.15, because 16 is another network. Then my second subnet is going to be 199.11.10.16. So what you have to do is plus 16. 199.11.10.16. 16 plus 16, 32. So it's going to be 31 because 32 is another network. So 199.11.10.32 now. 32 plus 16. That should be 46 if I'm not mistaken. Let me quickly use my calculator because you don't have to make any mistake. 32 plus 16. That's 48. Okay. So 199.11.10.47 I'm going to use because 48 is the next network. So let me copy this to make it faster. Remember, we are going to 16th network, 16. So this is my third, and this is going to be my fourth, 48. And this is going to be, I think that should be 63, 64. If you have 16 to it's 64. So if that's 64, so we are going to use 63, and 64 is going to be our next network, 64 now. If you add 64 to that, if you add 16 to 64 plus 16, that's plus 16, we have 80 now. So this is going to be 199.11.10.80. Yep. It's not going to be 80, it's going to be 79, always minus 1. Then the next one is going to be 80. And then we're going to have 199.11.10.80 plus, that's going to be 80 plus 16. That's 96. So I'm going to use 95. I don't want to make a mistake. Let me add it plus 16, 96. That's 95 because 96 is another network. So I'll do 96 now, and I'll paste it again, and 96 plus 16, that's 112. So I'll use 111 because 112 is another network. 112 is another network plus 16. That's 128 now. So I'll use 127 because 128 is another network. I'll use 199, 128 plus 16, 144. I'll use 143 because 144 is another network. And this is how you are going to go until you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've gotten up to 9. Let me just finish this up. I've gotten up to 9, 43, 44. So this is going to be, the next one is going to be plus 16. So this is 144 to Control V, 160. So I'm going to use 159 because that's another network. So this is going to be 160, 160, and then here I'm going to have plus 16, 160 plus 16, 160, that's 86 I think, plus 16, that's 176. So that's 175 because 176 is another network. So 176 now. So this goes on and on and on, plus 16, that's 192, correct? 191. So plus 16, so this is a 192. And then the next one is 207. So 207. Yeah, is that correct? Yeah. So here is going to be 208, and here is going to be what? Um, 208 plus 16, 224. 224. And here, no, so you're going to use 223, and this is going to be 224, and this is going to be 240. If I'm not mistaken now, I should know this now. Control V, this is going to be 240, 240, and here this is going to be 239. You always remove one. Then 240 is the next one, 240, and that's going to be that's going to be 255. So look at, I've got 16 networks from just this IP address. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand this. This is how you calculate your number of networks. Yeah. Now we need to move on to how to calculate host bits. And now that we have learned how to create subnets. So remember, we are always going to be borrowing from the leftmost zeros to the right, and we are going to be changing them to ones because one is for network, zero is for host bit. Let's go to the next one on my slide. The next one says if the question says you should create hosts. Now you are not creating subnets, you are creating hosts. What you have to do is count the number of host bits from the right. So for host bit, we are going to be starting from the right. From the right, let me see if I can quickly bring this back up. So it says count the number of host bits. I want to bring this back. Yeah, yeah, that's what I want to do. So you will count the number of host bits from the right until you get to the number that is equal or directly bigger than the number of hosts required. And I am going to explain this. But just so you know, you are going to be taking zeros from the right. From here, one, two, three, depending on how many hosts you are told to create. So say you are told to create two hosts. If you are told to create just two hosts in any given IP address, remember if you borrow just one zero here, just this zero here is enough to make two hosts. So you have two hosts because each one of them, like we did in networking, each one of them is two. So, but two, there is a formula with this as well with this. So let me go here, let me go to my notepad again. I think that's the best way to go and explain this. Yeah, so let's leave this here. Before we start anything, this is the question that we are going to be doing now. But before we do this question, I want to explain that with host bits there is a formula that says 2 raised to power n minus 2. If you remember, the formula for creating a network is just 2 raised to power n. For creating host is 2 raised to power n minus 2. And 2n here means the number of zeros that you used also. So if you now multiply that and minus them from 2, that is what they are saying to us. Okay. So say you are asked to create two hosts. So if you are asked to create two hosts and you borrow just one, that means you have 2 multiplied by 2. That's 2 multiplied by 1. Sorry, you borrow just 1. So 2 multiplied by 1 minus 2, that's 0. That means you have nothing. So in order to create two hosts, you need to go a bit bigger by borrowing two zeros. So you can have 2 multiplied by 2, 4 minus 2, 2. So you can have two hosts exactly. So if you are asked to create let's say 16 host bits, like they want 16 hosts, what you are going to do, how many twos are you going to borrow? Let's say 2 multiplied by 2, that's 4. It's not up to that. Multiply by 2, that's multiply by 2, that's 8. Multiply by 2, that's 16. But they said they want 16. So if you do 16 minus 2, you are going to be left with 14. So that's not enough. You are going to miss that question. So you need to borrow one more 2. So multiply by 2, that's going to give us 32 minus 2. We are going to be left with 30, which is fine. So that was why on my slide, it says to, to create host that you need to count the number of host bit from the right until you get to the number that is equal or directly bigger than the number of hosts required. So the directly bigger is better. You cannot have less. Okay. So this is the formula. Don't forget the formula is 2 raised to power n minus 2. So let me just put that there and then we move on. 2 raised to power n minus 2. That is the formula for this. That will give you the number of hosts that is required. Now let's solve this problem. There's a problem here now. Let me remove all this so we don't get confused. Okay, let me remove all that. I can remove all this now also. Yeah, I want to just say this because I'll be doing my rough work here and my answers here. Now, 2 raised to power 2 raised to power okay, let's do this. So 199, this is the IP address that we're given, and we're told that we should create 4 subnets, and each of that subnet, in each of the subnets, they want us to have 60 hosts in one, 33 hosts in one, 25 hosts in one, and 2 hosts in one. So we have in staff subnet 60 hosts. So let's deal with the staff subnet first. So I'll say staff subnet, and in staff subnet, and I'll bring the question that we're given. This is the IP address that I'm given. I'll bring it down and I'm going to paste it there. And now that I know I need how many, let me put how many I need so that I can always remember 60 hosts. So I need 60 hosts here. 60 hosts. Yeah, 60 hosts. So in order to get 60 hosts, how many twos? Let's convert this to binary first. Converting this to binary, they've told us that it's /24, which means that we need to leave first three. Leave them, don't do anything with them. So we have 24 ones. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay, now I have the 24 hosts like this they've given me, and this simply means to me that this is 255, this is 255, this is 255, and this is 0 for now. So as this is 0, I'm sure you know how I got this 255. That is just by putting all this 111 here in my calculation. Yeah, that's just by doing this. So if we add all this together, I'm going to have 255, all this together. So that gives me 255. And this is how I got all these 255, 255, 255. Now this is the one we are interested in. And the question now says they want us to create 60 hosts. In order to create 60 hosts, remember, borrow from the rightmost. We are starting from here. So if I borrow this one, that is 2. If I borrow times 2, I have 4. If I borrow that, I have 8. If I borrow this, I have 16. If I borrow this, I have 32. If I borrow this, I have 64. So this tells me all this will remain 0, and just these two will change to ones, because this is the one I need. This is the zeros I need in order to have 60 host bits. Or let's do this here. Let's use the formula 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, yeah, and multiplied by 2 equals to minus 2, yeah, minus 2, and that's going to give us 62. That is more than what we need, which is fine. So if we add all this together, we are going to get 64. Minus 2 is going to give us 62. So that is exactly, that's more than even the ones we need, which is fine. Yeah. So what I'm going to do with this now is to say, let me bring this under here again, and we see what we get. 1, 1. Others are zeros. By looking at this, this tells me, because the last post that I borrowed is 64. You see, the last bit that I borrowed is under 64. So this tells me that this subnet is going to be 64. Just this one, staff subnet, is going to be 64. But remember, you have minus 2. That's why you have 62. So this tells me it's 64, but then minus 2 gives me 62. So let's do our staff subnet now. What do we get? This is what we are going to get. We are going to get one network address. Network address will be 199, what we are given, 11, what we are given, dot 10, what we are given, dot 0, that's what we are given. And what is my first address that I'll be able to use here is going to be 199 dot 11 dot 10 dot 1. Okay, my last address, usable address, is going to be 199.11.10.62. Remember, that was why we had minus 2. So we can only have 1 to 62 address. And my last usable, and my broadcast address, that is going to be 199.168 dot 11 dot 10 dot 63. And my subnet mask, which is important. Do you remember how we used to calculate subnet mask? If you remember that, I'll be so happy. Remember, our subnet mask is always the last one here also. When we borrow, the one we borrow, the last bit, under which number is it falling? If it's falling under 64, that means my subnet mask is just going to be, this time, 255.255.255.64. And let me explain this a bit clearer if you don't understand it. So the staff subnet, the reason why we have minus 2 is because we can never use this one. 199.11.10.0 is the network address. None of the hosts in this network will be able to use it. So that's why we have, and this is the second one that we minus also, this 63. No host will be able to use 63. We are going to be able to use this and this from 1 to 62. We are going to be able to assign this to hosts. Okay, so but 0 and 63, we can't assign them because 63, 199.11.10.63 is broadcast, and 199.11.10.0 is network address. That's that about staff network. Let's go to the next network. You start from the biggest to the smallest. So the next network is admin subnets. So let's do admin subnet. So to do the admin subnet, Ctrl V, 33 hosts, don't clean that. The admin subnets. So for the admin subnets, remember, this was the question we were given, this one here. But now we have, this is the question, and this is this binary conversion of that question. But now what we have done is we have subnetted it to this. We have subnetted it to this. So we are not going to go and start using this again. We can't use this anymore. We are going to use this one here. Okay, that's what we are going to use. So we copy this. And what does this mean to you? So we copy this. To understand this, you are going to convert this, just this last one, back to binary, and you are going to know what you are doing. So how do you do that? You just go, let me copy that so that you can understand. Copy, Ctrl V. Now this is the what we are going to use, and remember, it is 199. We were told not to touch that. 199.11.10.64. How do I know it's 64? Because we've used from 0 to 63. Okay, we've used from 0 to 63. The next one that we're going to use is 64. And the reason why the next one we're going to use is 64 is because my subnet mask is also telling me is 64. Okay, so 64. That's what we need to use now. Okay, so this is going to be my network address now. This is going to be my network address. And if this is my network address, they want us to now do how many? 33 hosts. 33 hosts. So from this, we are never going to touch this again. We need to touch this. Okay, so we need 33 hosts. If we need 33 hosts, how many zeros do we need to borrow in order to get 33 hosts? So if we do 2 times 2, that's 4, times 2, that's 8, times 2, 16, times 2, 32. But we need how many? We need 33 times 2. That means we are going to 64 again, because if we stopped here, we are going to have 32. and we need 33. It's not enough, so we go a bit more, times 2, and that's going to give us 64 minus 2 again. That's going to give us 62 again. So this, by looking at this, yeah, by looking at this, if you see, how many have I borrowed? How many twos have I borrowed? One, two, three, four, five, six. So it's the same as this. So I don't have to do anything to this. All I have to do is continue and say, oh, we are moving in 64. So if we are moving in 64, my first address is going to be 199.11.10.63. My last address is going to be 199.11.10.64 plus 64, 128. So I cannot use 128 because 128 is another subnet. I cannot use 127 because 127 is going to be my broadcast address. So 126 is going to be my last address, and my broadcast address is going to be 199.11.10.127, and my subnet mask is going to be the same thing. Subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255 dot 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 dot. What did I use there? Why am I saying dot 64? To get your subnet mask, I'm sorry about this. Subnet mask, remember, you have to add this and this together. You add the bits that's on together, 128 plus 64. That's going to give you 192. 192. So it's going to be 192. Okay. So remember that. Always remember that. To get your subnet mask, you had this, the host bits, the ones you borrowed, you add all of them together. To know how large your subnet is going to be, the number of hosts in your subnet, you are going to just pick the last value on which your last borrowed host falls on. All right, so we have done that. We have done these two and we have done it correctly. So the next one in that question that we're given, says sales subnet. Sales subnet. Let me go and bring that down. Copy, copy. So for sales subnet, they want 25 hosts. So if they want 25 hosts for host subnet, remember, this is what we still subnetted. So we are still bringing this down. We haven't changed it. We used it, but we haven't changed any other thing there. Like, it's the same as this. So you bring that down back, Control V, and now this is what? This is, remember, we stopped at 192, yeah? So this is going to be 199.11.10. We are not changing those. Dot 192. That's your new network. This is our new network now. This is our new network. Okay, if this is our new network, and how do I get that? Just add this to this. You are going to get it. Just add 111192 192. So now, since we got that, they want us to have 25 hosts. So if we need to have 25 hosts, how many host bits do we need to borrow? We need to borrow 2 times 2, 4, times 2, 8, times 2, 16, times 2, 32. So that's directly bigger. So we need how many? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. We need 5 times 2 minus 2 equals to 30. And that is just 5 more than 25, which is enough for us to use. So in that case, I need to have 1, 2, 3. So this has to be 1. So I just need 5 host bits to be zeros. So now that I have that, now my my network address now is going to be what? It's going to be what I have been given, what was already coming down. That will not change, okay? So, because remember, before we did anything, they said we should not change, we should not touch this. That was what we said. They said, don't touch this. So, we are going to have that as 199.11.10.192. Okay, if that's what we have, what is going to be my first usable address? First address, that's going to be 199.11.10.192. 192.193. Okay, what is going to be my last usable address? This is where you need to know how to calculate your last usable address. We need to put all these back here now. If we put them back there, we're going to see we have 1 1 1, so 0 0 0 0 0. So now my last host bit, yeah, falls on 32, and that tells me that this is going to be in 32. So it's going to be 192 plus 32. Whatever that gives me, that's going to give me 224. Yeah, so that is 199.11.10 is going to be 224. But you have to remember 224 is in another subnet now. So you come down once, 223. That 223 is going to be your broadcast address. Then you come down once again, that's going to be 222, and that's going to be your last address. So broadcast address is going to be 199.11.10.223, and your subnet mask. Now, let me see if you still remember how to calculate the subnet mask. So if you say we are going to add 128 plus 64 plus 32, because those are the bits we have on, you are correct. 128 plus 64 plus 32, that will give us 224. So we are going to have our subnet mask as 255.255.255.224. So this is what we have done. This is what we have done, and we are getting there. Let's see the last subnet. And in the last subnet, I think they said they want, for IT, they want 2 hosts. So let's copy this and go there to the last subnet and do 2 hosts. Okay, 2 hosts. This is simple. This is simple. So if they want 2 hosts, according to them, we are going to just go and bring this down now. This is what we have now. Remember, this is what we have now. And from this, copy, paste. This means that our network address now is what? Is 224. Because if you convert this, remember we are not touching the first three. We have 199.11.10. What is going to be here? 224. If you add all this together, it's 224, and then your subnet mask here even tells you, and you can see that we have used all the IP addresses up onto 223. So my network address is going to be what? 224. So I'm going to say network address is 224. And then if you know your network address already, how many hosts do they want us to have? 2 hosts. So to make 2 hosts, what do I have to do to make 2 hosts? I need to borrow how many? I need to borrow how many bits? To make 2 hosts, if I borrow just one, I'll have 2. And 2 raised to power 1 minus 2 is 0. Yeah, so we need to borrow 2. So we need to borrow 2 times 2. That's going to be 4 minus 2, and that's going to be equals to 2. And this is what we need. So if that's what we need, let's go. We need 4. So we are going to borrow just 1 and 2. So others are going to be ones. 1, 1, 1, 1. So we have left with this. So since we are left with this, if we go and put all this back here, let's see what we get. We have 6 ones. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the rest is a 0. Come back. Come back. 0, 0. Now, how do I know? What do you get from here? You can see that my last host bit here that was on is on 4. So that tells me this network is going to be moving in fours. So if I add 4 to 224, I'm going to get 228. So my first address, usable address here, is going to be 199.11.10.225. My last usable address is going to be 199.11.10. Then instead of what? 228. You can't use 228 because 228 is another network. 227 is your broadcast, and then 226 is your last network. So broadcast is going to be 199.11.10.226 227. And what is going to be your subnet mask? That is the addition. That's going to be the addition. You can see all these bits, come on, all these bits that are on. So you had 128, 64, 32, 16, 84, 84. That's what you add. And if you add that together, that's going to be your subnet mask. And what's that? 255.255.255 dot what? 224, 240, 248, 252. That's 252. And that's everything we are asked to do. This is everything we've been asked to do. Please watch this video over and over and over again, and you are going to understand what we have done. I'm going to do one more example, and then I'll just end this video. And hopefully when you watch it like 2 3 times, you can understand what I have done here, please. All right. So now the only one way for me to be sure if you understand what we have done, because I know subnetting is very, very strenuous. It's brain daunting. So the only way I would know if we really understand is let's go to Google, and there are some subnetting questions that we can get there for free. So this is a subnetting question. It says new problem, and this is the IP address that's given. So they want you to get your network address, your first host, your last host, your broadcast address, and your next subnet. So this is going to tell us if we really understand and we have done so well. And if the answer is correct, you can always press show, or after everything press show, and it's going to tell you here if you are correct by saying yes, 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 yes. So now all I'll be doing is just subnetting class C. If I see any other class B or class A question, I'm not going to answer that. We are only going to be dealing with class C questions. So this is class B. I don't want it. Now this is class C. Now look at this question. They said, let's bring this up now. They said they gave us this IP address 204.115.135.11222. So this is an IP address, but they want you to get your network address from here. Okay, /29 is what we are given. So from there, remember when I said to you that with /29, any slash notation, they are telling you leave those, you have to have 29 ones. So let me tab this, let me tab them so that we can do it the way we've been doing. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do, since it's /29, I'm going to have 29 ones. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 1 2 3. So that's 32 already. So we have 29 ones. So they are telling me that this is my network address, and they're telling me not to ever touch those. So if you are telling me not to ever touch those, now what is going to be my network address? My network address is going to be what? Remember, since network address is going to be what? 204, they've told you don't touch it. 115, they told us don't touch it. 135, they said don't touch it. But then the last one, this is where there is a problem. Okay, in order to calculate the last our network address, so we know network stops here. Yeah, so we need to go and put this in that formula that we have. Let me put this there. This is that formula that we have, remember? So this formula that we have, if we bring all this there, so we have how many ones? 5 ones. Sorry, we have 5 ones. We have 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 5. Then the rest are zeros. So now that I've done this, easily I can realize if I add all this together, they are the ones. So 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8, that's going to give me 248, and that's my network address, 248. Okay, we are going to check if we are correct, and if that is 248, let me just go and check straight away if we are correct before we go far. So now we have this there, we have 204, 204. Are we right? 204. Let me go back and check that question correctly. So let me see if we've done this correctly. So in order for us to get our subnet mask, we are going to add all together. You have to remember what you need to do. That's for subnet mask where we are going to add everything together. Okay, but this tells me that we are moving in eight, that this network is moving in eight. So for me to get this right, I need to get my calculator and say if we are moving in 8, so if we have 2, 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8, what am I doing? 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. What is it doing now? Hold on, hold on, hold on. I don't know what this is doing for me. If we are moving in 8, 8 plus 8, sorry, plus 8 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 plus. I'm going to that 222 they've given us. I want to see in which network it falls on. 122, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. We are not there yet. 8. We are at 192, 200. 8, okay. 208, 8, 216. This is it, 216, okay? Because if we add from 216, if we add 8 to 216, we are going to get to 224. And the IP address we're given is what? Is 222. So this is what? 216. That's the network this IP address is in. So after we've done that, to get what's the next question? Since I've gotten this correctly, to get my first host, yeah, my first address, that's going to be easy. That's 204.135.217.217. And my last usable address is going to be 204.115.135. dot If you had 8 to 216, you are going to get 224, and 224 is another subnet. 223 is your broadcast, so 222 will be my last host, and then my broadcast is going to be 204.115.135.223, and my subnet mask is going to be 204.115.135.2. Subnet mask is going to be what? 2. Yes, this is where you need this now. Remember I said that this is where you need the addition of all this. So if you add all this together, all this, because these are the ones, so if you add all this together, you are going to get 2. This is 224, 240, 248. So your subnet max is 248. So let's go and see if we are correct. We have fixed all of them, so I will just type it in. So the answer is 204, 115, 115, 135, and we said 216. Don't forget that. Don't forget that I'm not doing anything different. I'm just bringing this back in. And here, the next one is 204, 115, 135, 217. And the next one is 204, 115, 135. And that is what? 222, our last host. Don't forget. And the last one is broadcast is 204, 115, 135, and then 223. And our subnet mask is 204, 115, 135. Sorry, subnet mask, you should remind me. Oh, no one can tell me anyway. 255.255.245.248. Is that what I have there? Let me just confirm it. 248. If we show, that's going to tell us if it's correct. If you click on check, Can you see? It says we are correct, but we missed the subnet mask. So we didn't calculate our subnet mask very well enough. Let's do it again. Let's calculate our subnet mask. So if we do 128 plus 64, 192, 224, 240, 248. Why did he say I'm not right? That's another question. So let me see. Why are we not right? 255.255.255.248. We can check the answer. It says the answer is 224. The answer is 224. Let me see why is the answer 224. So let's go back here. What have we done wrong? Oh. Oh, 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16. If we are moving in how many? How many are we moving? We are moving in 8. So I'll just leave that. I'm not ready to be fixing problem now. So that's at least we got all this right, okay? So let's move to another question. Let's move to another question. So I'll just say new problem, and this is class C also. This is another class C address. Let's fix this also. If we are given another class C address, as they've given us 202.20.226.173, okay, slash 25. So slash 25, since we are given slash 25, we need to have 25 ones. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25, and we are going to have 7 zeros. Now that we've done this, now how do we calculate our network address? To calculate our network address, we need to know how are we moving. So we are not going to touch this because they've said we should not. We should not, yeah? So this is the one we need to touch. Anything in the interested octet. So if I bring back this on and I don't need to copy, let's put this in our magic chart. So we have just one, others are zeros. If others are zeros, now because the only number, the only bit that I've borrowed, that I've been given is 128, yeah? So others are zero, so this is 128. First thing, this tells me that the number of hosts I'm going to have in my subnet is what? Is 128, and minus 2 I won't be able to use to 126. And this also tells me what my subnet mask is, because everything is here. This is the only one, so everything stands on air. So to get this right, I'll just come here and say my network address is going to be what I've been given. Remember, I've told you don't touch it if they say you should not touch it. 202.20.226, and then 173, yeah, where does it fall into? Because we are going to have two subnets in this network. Does it fall into the first subnet, or does it fall into the second subnet? So the first subnet is from 0, okay? So, and if you check, one cell is from 0, and that's the first subnet, and the last subnet, last usable address in here, last that will be used here, last address that you'll be able to use in this first subnet is going to be 202. I'm just helping you. I'm not meant to do this, but I'm just doing this for us. 220, 226.127. But if you see this 173 they gave us is not in this range, which means for our answer, the network address is going to be 202.20.226 dot 128, which is going to be the next network. So our last first address here is going to be, let me copy this to be faster. Let me quickly copy that to be faster. Copy and then paste. So this is going to be 129. 129. Our last address, this is going to be, so 254. Our last usable will be 254. And our broadcast address here is going to be 255. And our subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255.128. Let's see if we are correct. I'll just fill everything in here. So we have 202, 20, 226, and what did I say this is? I can't remember again. That is 128. 128. And the next one is going to be first host 202, 20, 226, 129. So, and the next one is going to be last host 202, 20, 226, 254. And the next one, broadcast is going to be 202, 20, 226, and 255. And my subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255.128. Let's see if we are correct now. Check. That's correct, but I don't know why am I getting the subnet mask wrong. Why am I getting the subnet mask wrong? So let me see. Show. So it's going to be 202 subnet mask. Am I typing something wrong? 202 20. They are not using 255. For some reason, they are not using 255. Oh, it's not subnet mask they are asking me to do. They're asking me for the next subnet. Sorry about that. They are asking me for the next subnet. And that's correct. That's correct. So my next subnet is going to be this. So I'm going to fix this in the next question. So I'm like, no, I shouldn't be wrong. That's why if you see that in here, I just leave it there. I didn't change it. But I didn't know they are not asking for subnet mask, they're asking for next subnet. So we are going to fix that now. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. No, this is not class C. This is class C. So with class C, they've given me another IP address, which is I'm happy to realize that my subnet mask is correct, that I'm just doing the wrong question. Next subnet. So now this question is 212.171 dot 47 dot 166, and we have slash 27. Remember, I've always said it, slash 27, anytime you see slash it means you have 27 ones. So I'm just going to say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27, and we are going to have 5 zeros. Okay. So now, if I got this right, how am I going to know my network address? So this is an IP address. What they want us to get is our network address. So in order to get the network address, we need to do our calculation like we've been doing it. So let's go ahead and do this now. So what I'm going to do is, definitely I've been told not to do anything with these ones. So that is all these three. So I will just say my network address is going to be 212.171.47 dots. Now I need to know what this is all about. So I'll pick this and go to my chart and just drop it. How many ones do I have there? Three ones. One, two, three, and the rest are zeros. Now, if the rest are zeros, this simply tells me that I'm going to be moving in 32s. I'm going to have 32 in each subnet. If that be the case, I'm just going to check. This is 166. Okay, if this is 166, it doesn't fall in the first subnet, which is this. Yeah, it doesn't fall because from 0 to 32, it doesn't fall there. It doesn't fall from this same thing, another network address. Let me copy that. It doesn't fall into this other network address, yeah, which is 32, because this will take me to 64. It doesn't fall there. It doesn't fall into this other network address, which is 32 64. It doesn't fall into that also, it doesn't fall into that also. So let's try after 64 plus 32. What do we have, please? I need my calculator. 64 plus 32. My brain is already tired with this. So we have 96. It doesn't fall into 96 also. So it doesn't fall. So this is 96. Let's go on. Control V. The next one plus 32. It doesn't fall into 128 as well. Let's go on. Let's go on until we get the network address. So the next one plus 32. 160. This is where it falls because I think it's 166 we're given. Can you see where's the question again? We're given 166. So it falls on this network. So if it falls on this network, my network address is going to be this. And in this network, my first address is going to be 212. Just add one to your network address 161. My last usable address is going to be, what do we do? Just get this. Add 32 plus 32. That is what 192. So your last usable is going to be 1, because 192 is another network. 191 is going to be your broadcast, and 190 is going to be your last 190, and your broadcast is going to be 191. And then next subnet is what we are asked to calculate. Subnet. Next subnet is going to be 192. So you are going to see that we are going to get all this correctly now. So let me come back here and do 212 tab 171 tab 47 tab 160. That's where it belongs. And 212 tab 171 tab 47 tab 161 plus 1 gives you the first host and last host. 212 tab 171 tab 47 tab 190. 212 tab 171 tab 47 tab 191 podcast. Next subnet 212 tab 171 tab 47 tab 192. So let's check this time around. We got all of it correctly. So I was missing. I didn't know this is the question. I thought it's subnet mask they're asking us to do. So now I realize that it's next subnet they're asking us to calculate. So let's do one more problem. This subnetting website, I have it on my phone. If I'm going in the bus or anytime I'm free, I just start subnetting. That's the best way to know if you are good or not. So just have this on your phone and keep doing it over and over and over again. You are going to be missing a lot, but that's fine when you start. So with time, you are going to get used to it. This is a class B. I'm not doing class B. This is a class B. I'm not doing class B. This is class C. So let's do one more class C. Let's do one more class C. So we have 196. We have 196.205.130.130/29. Okay, so let's move tab, 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 and tab. Okay, so if we want to convert these two binary, they've told us it's slash 29, so I'm having 29 ones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, why do I do 9 there? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and I'm going to have three zeros. Now that I've got this, first to calculate my network address, I need to see this is an IP address 130. Where does it fall into? This 130 thing, where does it fall into? So I'll come back. My network address, at least my network address is going to be, remember, they've told us don't touch these three, don't touch them. So I'll bring 196.205.194.192. dot. Now I need to get this now. So to get this, all I have to do is put this in my magic chart. And my magic chart, I have how many ones? I have 5 ones. I think I have that here. This is 5 ones and 3 zeros. So if I have 5 ones, that tells me that my network is going to be moving in eights. Yeah, our jumping will be in eights. So if our jumping will be in eights, I need to go and see if I'm multiplying, adding 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, where would this fall up to in 130? So I can quickly get this and say, to make it easy, I'll just say 8 multiplied by 10, that should be something about 80, plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. We are not there yet. Plus 8 equals to 120 plus 8. I need one more. So 128 network, that's where we are going to have this 130. So this is 128. So if this is 128, then my first address is going to be 196. My first address, I want to copy so as to make this faster. So my first address in that case is going to be copy, is going to be my network address plus 1, 129. My last address is going to be my, now if you add 128 plus 8, we are going to get 136 plus 8, we are going to get 136. So 136 is another subnet, 135 is your broadcast, and then 134 is your last usable host. 134, and broadcast is going to be 135. And your next subnet, that's going to be, we've just calculated that now, 136. So let's go and see if this is correct also. Let's go and see if this is correct. So 128, 129, so 128. So we have 196 tab 205 tab 194 tab 128 196 tab 205 tab 194 tab 129 196 tab 205 tab 194 tab last host 134, and then 196 tab 205 tab 194 tab 135, then next subnet 196 tab 205 tab 194 tab 136. Let's check if that's correct with what we have. Yeah, yeah, that's correct. We want to have 120, 129, 131, and if we check, that's correct. So I think you should be able to understand what I have done here. Please, your magic numbers, your magic charts can make you understand, can make you fix IP addressing anytime, any day. If you look at this now, I can just do something here. Now that I've realized, remember this is the eights, that I know that I'll be moving in eights. My first network in this address, my first network address here is this, is dot zero. My second network address here is 8. My fourth network address here, come on, my fourth network address here is 16. My third, so my fourth is going to be what? 24. Just add 2. My fifth is going to be what? My fifth is going to be what? 30, 30, 32, 24, 30, 32, yeah. My sixth is going to be what? 40. My seventh is going to be what? 48. And this is how you keep going on until you get to this network. So they've asked us to get this network. I know this network is far, but that's what they want, and we did it. So, you know, just try your best to watch this video over and over again, and you are going to get what I'm trying to explain. I'm going to end this video now, and I just feel like doing one more without using this, without maybe I could use the calculator, but without using this chart at all, to see how smart we are. New problem, I want class C. Now I have 204. So since I know it's slash 25, I know that I'm not meant to touch the first three. Okay, so I'll just go down without using any calculator. My 205, 115, give them back, 159. And how do I know which what is my network address? This is 54. So if in this network of 25 you are going to have two subnets. So I know because this is 54, it falls into the first one. So this is 205, 115, 159, 1, 205, 115, 159. Last is going to be 126, 205, 115, 159. Broadcast is going to be 127. Next subnet is going to be 205, 115, 159, 128. If we check it, can you see? Oh my God, what have I done? 159, 204. Oh, it's 204, not 205. So let me change that. 204, 204, 204, 204, 204. If I check again, all correct. All correct. Let me do one more. New problem, 208. This is slash 27. So I'll just do 208. I will give them back these ones. 208, 79, 205. And then what do I have? 248 slash 27 means what? Means I'll be moving in 32s. Because if you put those 111 in my charts, I'm going to have, let me quickly show you, slash 27 simply means I'll be having three ones at the end here. Where is it? This is slash 27. We have it actually. Look at slash 27. So that tells me I'll be moving in 32s. So if I know I'll be moving in 32s, 248 falls where? 32. If I do 32 times 4, if I get to 192, and what is this? 247. So this is in the 224 range. 224 range. So this is 208, 79, 205, 225, my first, 208, 79, 205, and last host is going to be 254, 208, 79, 205, and then broadcast is going to be 255. Next subnet is going to be 208, 79, 206.0. Yep, correct. Check. All correct. And I'm going to end this lesson here. And in my next video, we are going to do packet tracer. So we are going to apply these on a networking devices where we're going to have a switch, we're going to have a router, and then host devices, end devices like laptop, desktop, and we're going to apply what I have said, and it's all going to be class C. I know this is very, very stressful. It's brain drowning, brain draining. Just watch and watch and watch and watch. You are going to get there. I did a lot of studying before I got this, before I was able to understand it to this level. Please do the same and you are going to get there. I believe so. Thank you very much, and please, if this video makes sense to you, please subscribe and like the video. If you have any question, please comment. I can make an online lesson for everyone where we are going to have people join, and then we go from there. on IP addressing. Okay, so thank you very much once again. Have a good one. Bye.